everybody, welcome to June. I'm Terry Stiles and welcome to Oxford News this week. Oxford residents are asked to regulate watering the grass. There's a new kid in town, and Oxford Township Planning Commission gives marijuana ordinance the okay. All that and more. Oxford News begins right now. In a 6-0 vote last week, the Oxford Township Planning Commission approved a resolution to amend an ordinance to regulate medical marijuana grow operations under a special land use within the industrial zoning district, which is I-1 and I-2. The amendments ban operations from growing that exceed 12 plants in residential areas. Township Supervisor Jack Curtis explained that the township has no choice but to allow growing operations into the community. But in order to protect the integrity of the township, the commission can mandate where they will be allowed. Planning Commissioner Ed Hunwick stated, without a plan in the community in place, it's not protected, and the commission is clearly not approving any specific grow houses, but just trying to protect the residents by mandating facilities into the industrial district. From Memorial Day to Labor Day, Oxford residents who are connected to the township water system, they are asked to voluntarily schedule outdoor lawn and garden watering for any time other than peak periods of the day, which is 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. or 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Increased water consumption during those peak hours puts a weighty strain on the township water system, which then lowers the water pressure in homes and businesses throughout the community. Additionally, residents are asked to limit outdoor water use to odd and even days based on the last number of their address. Customers with an odd last digit should use extra use water on odd calendar days. The same would go for even use digits. While Seymour Lake Road has been tied up for the past week, northbound commuters will run into road closures at least on East Davison Lake Road between Metamora and Gardner Roads. According to the Lapeer County Road Commission, the road will be closed for a minimum of 2 to 3 weeks for a bridge replacement project. Last week, the Oxford School District hosted the Wildcat graduation for nearly 400 students at the DTE Energy Music Theater. Not all at once, though, due to capacity limits. There were 4 successive ceremonies, and according to the school superintendent, Tim Throne, it took a village to get these graduates here, given the COVID challenges they all faced in 2020. In a speech given by School Board President Tom Donnelly, that in the past year the district had one thing in mind, and that was to make sure students were able to go to school and do it in the classroom, which took every single student, family member, teacher, administrator, bus driver, and employee to make it happen. Congratulations to all 392 Oxford High School grads. Good luck in your future endeavors. And speaking of school district, there has been a lot of social chatter about a recent land activity south of the high school. According to the Oxford Leader newspaper, the land is owned by the school system and is currently being cleared in order to make it shovel-ready for any future projects. At this time, the district has no plans for the property, but hope to be prepared for future use. The project began in early May and is expected to be finished in October, with a total cost of $465,000 taken out of the general fund. It's been a year of uncertain closures and openings of area businesses, and the North Oakland Historical Museum is no exception. But as of last week, the museum will once again be open to the public on Thursdays and Saturdays from 1 to 4 p.m. Not only are there fresh new artifact displays, but better lighting to be able to see them with the installation of the new windows replacing the glass blocks. Also, thanks to WDIV's Paul Gross for visiting the museum and telling the story of the Great Cyclone which wiped out the town of Oakwood in 1896. To learn more about the Northeast Oakland Historical Museum, go to oxford-museum.org, or you can call 248-628-8413. Well, they had to miss it last year, but this year the American Legion Walter Fraser Post 108 came out in full force for the Memorial Day observance. As Post 108 tradition dictates, services were led in Centennial Park by Post Commander Dave Perry and former Post Commander U.S. Army veteran Jim Parkhurst. Following the service at the park, there was a march to the Ridge Lawn Memorial Cemetery for placing of the wreath ceremony and a 21-gun salute. Stepping out of tradition this year, the ceremony was not only honoring veterans who fell during service, but also for those who passed in the past year and were not able to have funeral services. Thanks go out to Harvest Time, who donated 10 flats of vegetables and 2 flats of herbs for the new Parks and Recs Community Garden at Seymour Lake Township Park. General Manager Joe Sausville said that they like to give back to the community, and the garden is what brings people together. The flats donated contain corn, broccoli, tomatoes, peppers, zucchini, and squash, which will eventually help feed guests who continue to participate in the Neighbors Helping Neighbors Free Meals program, held every Wednesday at the Emmanuel Congregational Church in downtown Oxford. The community garden project was made possible by a $10,000 grant from Fork County Community Foundation, along with the Harvest Time Market, Pet Stuff, Stone Ace Hardware, Tractor Supply Company, and the Home Depot donations, as well as CJ Carnacchio from the township writing the grant and winning that from Fork County. For those of you looking to sign up for the garden volunteer time slots, go to signupgenius.com, or you can connect with the Parks and Recs Department at 248-628-1720. This is a community of volunteers. Last week, about 20 volunteers helped the Downtown Development Authority in their downtown spring cleanup. The DDA board, Village Council board, fire department, and police personnel, Girl Scouts and family members painted, weeded, mulched, and spruced up the downtown area. Credit also goes to Burdick Street Landscaping and Buds and Blooms Gardening, who trimmed bushes and planted extra flower boxes along the backs of the buildings, and it really does look nice. And just in time for proms and weddings, a new tuxedo shop opened up downtown, owner by former resident Dawn Dowless. She is looking forward to connecting with Oxford again and has had her eye on coming back to be involved because of all the new shops, restaurants, bars, and people coming into the community. Dowless said the shop is not just for tuxedos, but also has an assortment of suits, suit rentals, and purchases. Dowless is planning to have live models at the shop during the Downtown Ladies Weekend for June 4th and 5th, which is this weekend, so go visit her at 18 North Washington Street. Back Alley Tuxedo is open Tuesday to Thursday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Well, that's it for Oxford News this week. If you want to learn more about these stories or others, you can go to OCTV Charter Channel 191 or AT&T Channel 99, or you can check out our Facebook and YouTube pages at Oxford Community Television, Facebook or YouTube. And then you can go to OCCTV.org, look at our website, and we'll see you there. I'm Terry Stiles. Thanks for watching Oxford News This Week, where we bring your news closer to home.
Every year, distracted drivers are responsible for nearly 2.5 million car crashes. The National Safety Council reports cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes. The NSC reports 1 out of every 4 car accidents in the United States is caused by texting and driving. Texting or reading text takes your eyes off the road for at least 5 seconds.
How you doing, man?
So if you were traveling at 55 miles per hour, you're essentially driving the length of an entire football field blindfolded. Once a driver has been distracted, it takes only 3 seconds for a car crash to occur.
Welcome to Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from Automotive News. When the new 2022 Volkswagen Taos begins arriving in U.S. dealerships next month, most consumers will have a hard time differentiating it from the brand's top-selling Tiguan, and that's by design. But while the styling may be similar between these two segment-sharing compact crossovers, the brand's strategy is to separate them by features and price that will give VW its first real entry-level vehicle in the growing and crowded segment. Smaller, less expensive, and with better fuel economy, the Taos gives VW a vehicle with which to take on the Jeep Compass and similar vehicles to which the larger, more expensive Tiguan nearly always comes up short. Taos fills a very specific gap in our portfolio. VW dealers have been clear and consistent. We were missing this opportunity, says Scott Keogh, CEO of Volkswagen of America. Taos, he said, is little but no doubt fierce. With the introductions of the Taos next month and the ID.4 EV last March, VW's lineup now has 5 crossovers to offer American consumers, compared with 2017 when it had just the Tiguan and the high-priced Touareg. The results are telling. Crossovers are now about 64% of the brand's sales, and Keogh says it would take the profits from 8 or 9 Passat sedans to equal what the brand makes on just one of its Atlas 3-row crossovers. The Taos, which will be built in Puebla, Mexico, is based on the same MQB modular global architecture as the Tiguan, and it will share a number of components. At 9.3 inches shorter than the long-base Tiguan sold in the U.S., the Taos is 175.8 inches long, 72.5 inches wide, and 64.4 inches tall, riding on a 105.9-inch wheelbase. It comes standard with LED projector lamps, a fully digital instrument cluster, and a 6.5-inch infotainment touchscreen. An optional 8-inch touchscreen runs Volkswagen's most advanced infotainment system. With the second row seats up, the Taos has 28.1 cubic feet of cargo room. When the back seats are lowered, cargo room expands to 66.3 cubic feet. The Taos, unlike the refreshed Tiguan that VW will bring to dealerships in the fall, doesn't have an optional power rear hatch, nor does it have the refreshed Tiguan's upscale haptic steering wheel buttons or capacitive touch climate controls. What it does have is better gas mileage and a price point. The Taos will start at $24,190, including delivery, expected to be at least $2,500 cheaper than the 2022 Tiguan. Keogh said VW would offer an entry lease price of $199 per month on the Taos. The 2022 Taos is powered by a 1.5-liter turbocharged inline-4 engine, the same as in the Jetta sedan that produces 158 horsepower and 184 pounds-feet of torque, mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission in the front-wheel drive versions or a 7-speed automatic when equipped with the available all-wheel drive. Base versions of the Taos will come with standard 17-inch wheels, while higher trims will be equipped with 18 or 19-inch. Taos is a classic VW for a new era, Keogh told reporters this month. It's practical with surprising tech features. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and we'll be right back.
With your Oxford Wildcats athletic update, I'm Teddy Rodquist. It was a history-making day for the baseball program on May 29th. Sweeping a home doubleheader with the Oakland Christian Lancers, the team improved to 30-7, breaking the 1998 team's school record of 29 wins in a season, a mark that had stood for 23 years. Seventh-year head coach Dave Herrick also recently reached a personal milestone. As the team's 13-0 5-inning victory over the Brandon Blackhawks on May 25th, a game in which junior right-hander Gavin Walters threw a no-hitter, was Herrick's 100th win at the helm of the program. Oxford will begin postseason play on Saturday at 11 a.m. by hosting the winner of the Davison Cardinals and Clarkston Wolves in a district semifinal at Lapeer High School. Clarkston and Davison play today, Tuesday, at 4 p.m. in a quarterfinal. Kenny Allen's softball program, which stands at 23-14, is also set to begin postseason play on Saturday, tangling with the Holly Broncos at 12 p.m. at Grand Blanc High School in a district semifinal. As of this recording, Holly stands at 11-11, tied with the Goodrich Martians for 6th place in the Flint Metro League. And John Thaler's girls soccer program improved to 12-2 by running past the Waterford Kettering Captains 8-0 in a district quarterfinal at Wildcat Stadium on May 27th. The team will play in the district semifinals tomorrow, Wednesday, at 7 p.m. against the Saginaw Valley League champion Grand Blanc Bobcats at Lapeer High School. From the Oxford Community Television News Desk, I'm Teddy Rodquist.
Every day it was the same old story. I worked hard to make sure no one noticed what I was dealing with, but my stomach never cared where I was. And the pain just kept coming. After too many close calls and even weight loss, I had to do something. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation helped me realize what was going on and even helped me find a specialist. Don't hide your symptoms. Get help at spillyourguts.org.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. If your cat turns from an elegant hunter into a drooling ball of fluff at the merest whiff of catnip, then you might be curious to know how such a nondescript plant has power to cripple such a ferocious beast. 70% of domestic cats are susceptible to catnip, and so are big cats, such as lions. But how did this plant evolve to hold such sway over our pets, and what exactly is it doing to them? Catnip comes from the plant Nepeta cataria, a herbaceous member of the mint family native to Europe and Asia. When cats get a whiff of it, they seem compelled to sniff, lick, and chew its flowers and leaves, rub their faces and bodies on the plant, roll around, shake their heads, and drool. Not all cats are affected, though. Kittens are immune to its allure, and thanks to a genetic variation, 7 out of 10 adult cats find it irresistible. But the rest aren't really bothered. The chemical responsible for messing with cats' heads is called nepetalactone. It produces its effect through smell alone. The molecule doesn't have to be ingested or reach the brain for it to send cats wild. This frenzy of excitement usually lasts around 15 minutes. After that, they become immune to its effects for around an hour. It might look like the cats are getting stoned or having some kind of a drug trip. We can't actually tell what the cats are experiencing, but we do know that smelling catnip triggers the release of beta endorphins, natural opioid chemicals produced in the body. In humans, endorphins lower stress, inhibit pain, and make us feel rewarded. When these opioid receptors are blocked, cats don't respond to catnip in the same way, indicating that these endorphins are responsible for the cat's strange behavior. Plus, they don't seem to get addicted or suffer any ill effects from the herb. Any humans looking for a high by smoking catnip may be disappointed. Some people do enjoy a brew of catnip tea and advocate it as a mild sedative or a herbal medicine, but there are no reliable studies documenting psychoactive effects in humans. It's not just our domestic felines that are sent into a frenzy by catnip. Many big cats, including lions, leopards, and jaguars, all seem to be affected in the same way. So, what's in it for the plant? Well, its effects on cats seem to be an evolutionary accident. The plant doesn't grow in the same areas where these cats live in the wild. But there is another animal for whom nepetalactone is a sex pheromone. Aphids. Aphids like to suck the sap of catnip plants. By producing the pheromone, the plant attracts aphid predators such as the lacewing fly. So it's actually an ingenious way, that is, to protect itself against sap-sucking herbivores. However, its accidental effect on cats has paid off for the plant in some ways. Humans now grow acres of the stuff just for the purpose of amusing their pets. Catnip has other surprising uses too. Mosquitoes, flies, and cockroaches find its smell aversive, so people have used catnip as an insect repellent. It may be that this is why cats have evolved the urge to rub themselves in the plant. Mice also produce similar molecules called lactones in their sweat. According to cat behavior expert Benjamin Hart, they might have evolved to do this to distract cats when they get caught, giving it a chance to escape. Maybe This explains why cats often bat around and play with mice, just as they do with a toy mouse stuffed with catnip. Well, that's it for Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.